Hey, welcome to Mind Your Business. I am Amma Duncan, founder of the Fabulous Woman Network. I love to support people, individuals, and organizations to do what they thought was impossible. I do this through coaching, training, mentoring, events, and I am just like there for you to help you grow as I also grow. Now, Mind Your Business is my weekly podcast. Every Tuesday at 12 noon GMT, I come your way with information, content that will help us all as we go on this journey of creating wealth and impacting people. Today, I have the honor of interviewing a very fabulous woman. She's now a chef. See how I said now? She's been many things, and now, even without any formal training, she's an amazing chef in Ghana, one of our very, very best. And I'm going to be interviewing her shortly. Before I do that, I hope you remember that the International Fabulous Women's Conference is happening in Fab Ashanti from 4th March to 7th. So 4 exciting days of sharing, learning, networking, collaborating, and having a great time as fabulous children of God. It's happening in Fab Ashanti, which is located in Abuabukesi, Kumasi. Do come. Don't miss out. If you feel that, okay, I'm not able to come, there's the virtual option as well. So right here in the caption, you have the link. Check it out so you join us for the International Fabulous Women's Conference as we celebrate this year's International Women's Day in style. Now, to our guest for today. She simply describes herself as a mom of a 2-year-old and a restaurant owner at Essi, which is a farm-to-table eatery. She's also a digital content creator for lifestyle brands. See how I said she's now a chef, but we knew her as a giant digital marketer and content creator. She really helps with that. She's amazing. And even before that, she did so many other wonderful things. And the great thing about this woman is everything her hands touch, they are blessed. Ladies and gentlemen, here we have Naa Oyoo Quartey.
Thank you, Amma. I'm really, really happy to be here as well. It's been ages.
It's been ages. Oh my goodness. So we want to dig in right away. I mean,
right.
I've in the past, I've interviewed you before. This is the second, right?
Yes.
So I know a bit of your story, but some people don't know. So please just walk us through, first of all, how you even decided to become a home chef. Just a bit of that introduction.
Right. Well, I mean, like you rightly said, my journey has been, quite very interesting. But like I had a blog, right? Or I used to blog a lot, know, and I think my interest in food actually started more from when I started blogging about recipes and creating new recipes using our local ingredients. Because I was like, I love traditional Ghanaian meals, don't get me wrong. I love them. But, for me, I was like, is there a way to cook with the same local ingredients but in a different, distinctive way? Can we incorporate certain ingredients into, let's say, contumely or into garden eggs? Can we just switch things up a bit to make it more interesting? So that, led to more recipes for the food blog, which is See My Show. And I would write, our food stories, our Ghanaian food stories, where our dishes come from or what inspired me to make a certain dish, etc. So it was pretty fun. And along the way, people are like, but you are here creating all these dishes and we can't eat some, and all these nice pictures. What's all that, So one day I was like, okay, you know what? Let me show up at Garden and Flower Show. So they had this event. The first one, it's like, okay, let me get a stand, and sell something that people would want to try out. So I think my first thing I sold was actually Asana and Meda. So I chose those two drinks because they are so similar, but people are not able to tell the difference between Asana and Meda. One is from the Gans, the other is more from Volta region, right? And that was my first stand. So that was more of an experience, a taste experience. And people loved it. They were like, oh, okay, they didn't know this, as I shared it. And next one, which was the same year, I decided to make food, right? So I had specially made grilled pork from Jamestown. And what was different about this pork was they grill it in the clay oven. So what we call flono in Ghana, yes. So it's very distinctive in taste. You like I can't even describe. You have to yourself. You have to come and try it for yourself. And I had gankenke, I had some chicken wings and fries. And that really, really did so well. People loved it. Like I sold out on the first day. Like the second day, it was so good, right? And so that was actually my first experience. I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting. It was so intense, very intensive. Like you're on your feet the whole time, even if it's a pop-up, like you're on your feet the whole day. You're not just selling, but then you're of course calling customers, so come and try this. So it's almost like sales and marketing involved, right? Yeah. And then I think I got pregnant. Yeah. So that's when around that time I got pregnant, and so I was home a bit, trying to take it easy because I lost my first baby. So this second one, I was a bit apprehensive. So I decided to take it easy the first 12 weeks to make sure that I was okay. Very, very nervous time anyway. But thank God everything was fine, So whilst I was taking that rest period, I started thinking more about, okay, so what next? What am I going to do? And I was already doing social media consultation and trainings for organizations, right? So even though I was still pregnant, I was still running those sessions, people were even like, oh, wow, you're pregnant, Yeah, so I decided that, okay, let me start something around food, okay, because people really like my food. But I didn't want to do the usual jollof and the usual local dishes, okay. I decided to do ramen. So ramen is an Asian dish, right? And my few travels outside exposed me to this dish, and I had already made some at home. And trying it, I was like, wow, this is really good. Let me make it more like the flavor has to be more Ghanaian, because we the Ghanaians, we like a little bit of chili, you want some, but because the broth from, like in the UK and all that is so different. It's not as spicy or it's not as flavorful, Yeah. So I did that. And I drew up a whole plan, like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And I'll start with a brick and mortar business, And that's when COVID hit.
And we will get into it shortly. I just want to...
I know.
I just want to commend your resilience, and even standing on your feet, deciding, okay, I'm cooking, even though I am pregnant and it's stressful and I'm a bit nervous and all, but you went with it. And of course, I'm sure you took care of yourself. You were responsible because now we have a lovely 2-year-old, right? By God's grace. By God's grace. So, So then you went on to set up the brick and mortar?
Yes. So this was like late 2020. So I think the COVID had already moved from China to some countries, right? But we weren't really paying much attention, because we were like, we don't get here and stuff. And so I got this space in East Legon, and I had paid the rent.
Oh my gosh, East Legon.
Yeah. Charlie, like, listen, East Legon rent. Yeah, that was another story. But it was such a very good location, So I was like, I was hopeful, like, people will come here because it's close to the road and all that. So just as like I felt like, oh, okay, we can start with something, people can come and dine in. That's when we got our first case in Ghana, and then they were like, restaurants can't open, and then the lockdown happened, right? So not long, because I finished working on those things, like I think January, February, thereabouts, But in the interim, I was actually doing deliveries from home, the same dish, but I was doing it from home whilst the shop was being set up. That was a disaster, actually. Delivery companies weren't so reliable and so effective then, 2020, as compared to now that we have better and more efficient delivery companies nowadays. You compare it to 2020, it was awful. So there was this company that I got, they messed up my orders, So I'm like, Charlie, let this restaurant set up properly. And then the lockdown happened. And wow, what am I going to do? I'm just home. And I'm just watching the news and what's going to happen? That state of not knowing, that state of, is this going to work out? It is extremely scary because you've invested so much money and your rent is going. You understand?
Exactly. The rent was just running, whether you were
there. The rent is running and you're home. Yeah, and then, then I start hearing that, oh, this restaurant has closed down. Hey, have you heard this restaurant? And there were all the fine dining and major restaurants that you and I know, right? And it was so scary. I'm like, hey, these people are shut down. They mean this small thing. Yeah, it was so scary. So I prayed, I took a lot of things into prayer, and it's something within me, I'm like, no, I'll still go ahead and do this thing, I think there was this sermon, I don't remember who it was by. No, it was Dr. Octavio, and he was I think he was preaching about how if you look at the wind, you not do anything, or if you look at the sun, you not do anything, because of COVID that had happened then. So there was a lot of encouraging sermons, around that era, so he was like, don't look at the wind, the wind is blowing, it's it looks scary and everything. Don't look at it. Just keep doing what you have to do. So I think that really encouraged me. So when the lockdown was lifted, right, and then they said restaurants can open, but no in dining, right? So that was for me. I was like, yes, let me go and do that. And you know what's interesting? You remember when COVID hits Ghana, it's majority of the cases were in Isligon, in airports. Then it's I'm actually having a shop in the hotspot, Charlie, I will not look at that crap. Forget this woman. She's waited too long. So we started, I had 2 staff. I got a waiter and I got a sous chef. And I kind of trained them up on, how the recipe will go and all that. And Charlie, God being so good. People had been at home so long, and people were tired of cooking. So it's the minute we started getting orders. But here for me was a catch, now people are not dining in. What do I do? Right? It's so different from having in-dining experience and having delivery services as a restaurant, So now I had to get delivery or takeaway boxes, bags, containers, everything that I needed to ensure that delivery can happen. Do you understand? So, there are restaurants that don't do deliveries. There are restaurants that don't do it. But once you decide that you have to, because people are not coming to dine in, what are you going to do? You have to deliver. So now I started connecting with suppliers, going on Instagram, searching for people who were selling, all these takeaway containers, packaging, etc., and connecting with them, send the delivery guy, who picks up, brings it over. I started researching online, factories where actually in Ghana, they were making containers and all that, So going there, sourcing, supplying all the supplies, bringing it back, and then, my marketing, digital marketing. And by God's grace, God being so good, that's my strong area.
Yes. You're a guru in the field.
Charlie, now it was even more crucial to even up the game on that. It was even more crucial. This now is because nobody is coming in. Even if you do a signboard outside, there's nobody outside. Everybody is, everybody's remote working, So online is where everybody is, and online is where I have to be, So taking photos, uploading it, sharing it everywhere, creating the content, nice pictures, WhatsApp, etc. It's Now we're managing orders online. People are calling in. And then it was like, there, like God being so good. Like you can get more than like 10 orders a day. And for me, like if you're a restaurant, you're starting out, and that's, look, wow. Yeah. So yeah, that was what we started as a brick and mortar. But then because of the impacts of COVID, it was tough. Like people only started coming to dine in during the latter parts of 2020. So 2021, sorry. Yeah. So December 2021, thereabouts, that's when more people were coming to dine in. I mean, business was still good, but because we didn't get quite the number of numbers and the high cost of rent, now like 2020, I'm already paying 1 year and I haven't even worked.
Yeah.
I haven't operated for a year and I'm already paying a year advance, So that's when for me, I was like, let me do something that will work for me, So I decided to shut it down, the brick and mortar, and find a new place where I could live and also operate from. Right. So doing that, helped, to bring down my rent. That way I'm not paying double rent. I'm not paying rent at the shop and rent, elsewhere. So that was another journey, like January 2020, 2021. What year are we? We are in 2022 now. Time flies, like that's crazy. Anyway, so that's when we relocated to, and that's where we are now.
Oh, so it's perfect.
Yes.
Yes. And
okay. Also, it's a food area.
Yeah. That's where we all go when we want something, the Domino's and all those things that
yes, on the night markets and everything.
Oh my God.
So towards the end of 2020, that was when the rent, was too much for me. And interestingly, I thought, the landlord would be more like, oh, because of COVID, because in the US, a lot of restaurants were had closed down. But some landlords were a bit more, okay, you forget this period and give me what, they were managing the situation, like the human side of them, because things were tough for everyone, know.
Yeah.
But here's the case where like, no, you still owe me 1 year. Despite knowing that
you didn't operate.
And that was very unfortunate. But I think, for me, I always believe that, wherever I step, God goes with me.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's so obvious from your story that it was God just walking with you and helping you. His word says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death." You go through it.
You go through it.
You go through it. He won't leave you.
You go through it.
Remove you from it, but he will go with you.
You will not sit down. No, you will not sit down in the valley. No, you have to move.
Exactly.
You go through it.
Wow. And
with you. Yes.
I have to congratulate you. Like you're literally just going. I see your post. I saw that ramen thing. I think that's the name. And I was curious, like, what's it? It's now that I know it's Asian. And then you have Ghanaianified it. And I can't wait to try it. I'm going to let you speak to the women in our audience, but there's this burning question. So Essi, what's with, how did you come up with the name?
Oh, so Essi is the name of my daughter.
Oh, okay. And you spell it with double S.
S,
oh, yes. I see. It makes it so unique, actually.
Which is a Sunday born.
Yes, Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, my daughter.
Essi.
Nice.
So her S is two. Her name is two S's. So I was looking for a name, and I was like, I didn't want like a name that I couldn't connect with, I did a lot of research. Like I wrote all the names, all kinds of names I could think of. But then I was like, wait, okay, my daughter's name is pretty unique, Let me use that. And you never know, one day she might decide to follow my steps in Jesus' name.
Amen. Is she already in the kitchen?
Oh, she already has her chef hats and her chef apron. She's already, learning to cut up vegetables and all that. She loves it.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So that was for me like very unique name. And by God's grace, it's gotten out there. People, they call like, oh, is this Essi's eatery? Is this Essi? So like, and people think that's my name because of how it spells out. They think I'm Essi, right?
Essi.
Yes, and so it's about, a farm to table restaurant because I connect directly with farmers, so local farmers, that I personally know and source my ingredients from them because I want when you come to eat at our place, you have to eat well and feel good about yourself. I'm very passionate about helping people eat healthy but delicious meals, right? People will say, but it's healthy, but it's not good. No, healthy food can be delicious. And, you have to eat well for yourself because you have one body, right? So for me, cooking is, taking out artificial preservatives. I don't use stock cubes, nowadays people are using all kinds of spices, but we use like only natural and organic whole spices. We are using the quintia, we are using the rosemary, fresh rosemary, thyme, spices you can identify and know that's good for your body, And for me it's also about giving people a very unique food experience. Like you see the food, you eat the food like, wow, I haven't had good food like this in a long time. And the feedback
my mouth is watering.
And the feedback that comes from people helps you know that you're actually on the right path, Like somebody orders food, they're like, oh, I haven't had ramen in like 11 years, or I'm ordering your food today. And then they come back like, oh my God, it's amazing. Like, wow, like, and then you have Asians eating at your restaurant, like Asians. Exactly, So that's, I remember the first time when two Japanese guys came to eat here. I mean, even though it's my house, I have a little outdoor area where people eat, and I was so nervous. I was like, hey, Japanese people come to, because it's their dish,
Family.
Yeah. And I was just nervous. They finished eating. Then I went to see them. I always interact with my customers, to find out how they enjoy the food and all that. I mean, that's what's missing in our restaurants nowadays. You don't see that. Anyways, and I go and then they're like, oh, it was very good. They're like, have you been to Japan before? I said, no.
Tokyo needs you.
And I get that question so many times. Like, African Americans who come to Ghana and like they hear of this place and come and eat, like, where did you learn how to make ramen? That's a question I always get. Like, they're just amazed and they love it and they keep coming back. And then they refer, they recommend it to their friends and their friends come. And
wow. And you didn't go to chef school?
No. Wow. I'm passionate about food. I think I've always been passionate about food. It just never really showed until I started writing about it. Because that time my mom was like, but you never like cooking. Even though I could cook, she just saw it as like, okay, it's a duty, you're a girl. Social responsibility as a woman, like, oh, you should be cooking. But cooking is a life skill actually, right? So it's only when I started thinking about it, I was like, my dad used to take me to restaurants, not just me, the whole family. And he would take us to like Chinese, Indian, because he liked to experiment and eat different kinds of meals, right? And I love that experience of trying different things. So I think it stayed with me. That memory kind of stayed with me. When I started traveling a bit, I'm always trying different things. And I mean, I don't want to eat what everybody's eating. I want the one that nobody's trying.
Different.
Yes. So, yes. And I decided like, why don't I also share that experience with other people? So I'm really thankful that I even have customers who, when you have a new menu, they want to try it, or you have a new menu item, they want to try it. It's very exciting to see that there's that new Ghanaian who has an adventurous palate, who doesn't just stick to fufu and banku and kenji, but like they want, and it's really amazing. Like now I have Ghanaians eating ramen, Ghanaians who have never had ramen before. Now they'll have it like at least once a week.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's like yeah, that's like a whole culinary transformation. Like, you know.
Can you have it delivered to Kumasi? Because I would like to order. I can't wait till I come to Accra. Like, I don't know when I'm coming.
That time I was thinking, I was like, wow, it'd be so cool to have a branch in Kumasi and like.
Yeah, you know.
Yes, but I have quite a few Kumasi followers. I like when I come to Kumasi, I'm like, you wait, smallest time.
You should do a pop-up. Okay, I know there's an interview, but we should talk about it later. So we are having the conference. You should totally come and do a pop-up. Think about it. I'm praying. Anyway, I'm getting carried away.
We are getting carried away. Let's go back to the conversation. Let's talk later.
I mean, you pivoted beautifully. I mean, of course, for us looking, it looks beautiful, but you have mentioned that, I mean, I can just, as we were speaking, I was getting goosebumps, imagining the East Legon rent and all that you spent going just waste as we sat here.
Balancing that with motherhood.
With new baby and all. So I have to commend you. You are like truly the definition of the fabulous woman. Now, in our community, we have women, like you, who are doing the best they can, but, the COVID is like in their faces, never going away. Based on your experience, what lessons, perhaps one or two key lessons, can you share with them to just help them keep going?
Well, it's not easy. And I feel like, as a woman, we don't get it easy, especially because there's so much demand or so much responsibilities on us as a woman, like socially, we are expected to do so much, and I think being committed to your goals is very important, and being disciplined, and not being easily discouraged, because you can start something and people will be like, but this thing, what is this? But this thing you are doing, why are you doing it this? Because they don't understand maybe the vision that you have. So maybe you want to start a new type of drink, or, you don't want to do sobolo, but you just want to do something that's very unique. And you might have people discouraging you, saying all kinds of things that can, like this thing, then you just leave it. No, I think you have to be very committed to that idea and that vision, and always learn. For me, I learned a lot. Like the lessons I've learned, wow. Open your mind, have an open mind to learn, to learn new techniques, to learn new ways of doing things. One of the things, even though I was pretty good at social media, like I still had to learn how to use the latest apps like TikTok. TikTok and other technologies. I was learning all these new apps, these new technologies to improve on what I already knew. Okay. So whatever business idea you have, whatever vision you have, like always have the open mind to learn new things, and don't listen to the naysayers. Prayer should always, for me, like has really helped me through like really tough times, because there were times I really wanted to give up. I used to live in East Legon Hills, right? East Legon Hills. I don't know if you know where it is.
Yeah, nice place.
You do?
Yeah.
But you know how far it is, right? In the Santor area. So I was doing that trip between there and East Legon every day, and the roads were really terrible. Like right now it's been fixed, but then I was facing floods. Like whenever it rains, it's always flooded. It's like you're driving and you're praying, like that's nothing will happen to you. Like, what? But God really came through for me, because being a new mom, a first-time new mom, and balancing that every day. In fact, I lost weight, but I thank God that right now, like you said, I'm looking fresh. So
fresh, yes.
Yeah. So any woman out there, like open your mind, learn new things, create a tribe for yourself, a tribe of women that you can trust and who are supportive. They're not just supporting you in prayer, but they're actually supporting your business as well. And get a mentor as well. I believe that having a mentor to help you in whatever you're trying to achieve really helps, because a mentor who has been successful in, maybe an area that you're not so good in, will be a very good guide for you, because no woman is an island. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
No woman is an island.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And speaking of technology, first of all, you are the queen of social media marketing and digital marketing. We should all come and just sit at your feet. You promised to share with us a few tips with using what.
Yeah. So like I was saying, when we started the brick and mortar and COVID happened, and then I had to really get my digital marketing strategy in place, like really quick, because everybody was now online. So WhatsApp and Google My Business, and then of course Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, etc. But WhatsApp for me was very critical. I didn't even know WhatsApp Business was a separate app, right? Until I searched online and I was like, oh, it's a separate app. So that means converting your existing number to a business account, right? Okay. So that's what I did. And I got another phone separately for that. So it's always good to separate, your business number from your personal number, unless, of course, maybe your business is more like maybe consultancy or something. Yeah. You don't mind. But I decided to keep it separate because it's a restaurant. And I had a separate staff handling those communications, right? So what's our business? So my tip for any woman in business out there is be connected at all times within your working hours. Because even my experience when I'm like maybe placing an order on another WhatsApp business account, people take too long to respond, right? Especially when you set your working hours for 9 to 5 p.m. You send a message and the person responds the next day. You understand? Turn on your alert notifications. At least your notifications for, your business account should always be on. So be responsive, and respond early and quickly. Because the thing is, you're not the only supplier of that particular good or service. The person will move on to the next person like fast, like really fast, because now there's like so many Instagram accounts or so many suppliers of whatever it says that they're looking for, right? And then create a catalog. Okay. So a catalog, the WhatsApp app comes with various tools, business tools. Okay. I love them. So the catalog is literally helping you to list your products or your services, right? Yes. Get good photos of your products or your service. If it's shoes that you're selling, list the shoes. But then, the amazing thing, it allows you to even categorize the product. So let's say you're selling shoes. Maybe you have size 18s, 100 of size 18. So you create a catalog only for size 18.
Wow.
Right? Or, so for example, my dishes, for example, so for ramen, I have different types of ramen. There's chicken, there's beef, there's pork belly, there's prawns. There's prawns, big prawns.
Oh my God. Stop it.
So I have a catalog for ramen. So anyone who clicks on that catalog will see the different types of ramen. It allows you to add prices. It allows you to describe your products or your services. It allows you to hide products when that particular product is not available. So that way, the customer doesn't have to ask you if this is available. They'll definitely see that it's not available. So you don't have to say, oh, it's not available. You understand? For me, it's like you're kind of like preparing your mind for the questions the customer will ask. So make sure the catalog is always updated and descriptions are there. If it's sizes, you put the sizes there. If it's for toddlers, you've listed, whether it's toddler boy or a girl, but so that the customer doesn't have to go through a long process of asking you too many questions. Right? So if there is maybe you're into cakes, you're a baker, for example. If this particular cake has nuts in it because of allergies, you state it all in the description. So create a catalog, make sure it's updated. It's constantly updated. If there's a new feature on the app, look at how best you can use that new feature, right? And set your away message, set a greeting message. Yes. People don't have that. You say a business account, you say hello, and then all you hear is hello, dear. Like, no. those things just kills me. I don't know, like you don't know me, a business account. How do you act? It's so unprofessional. I'm sorry, but for me, I mean, put a greeting message. Hello, welcome to so and so limited. My name is. So it allows you to put that message there. So it's automated. So anytime anyone sends you a message, it comes. Oh, this is our opening times. Blah blah blah. We have this this in stock, or you want to say this is our payment mode. You know, we accept Momo or bank transfers, etc. All those details are there. So they'll always read and know that, okay, this is what to expect. You know, you can tell them that, or if you want to order, send us your name, where we are delivering to. Are you delivering or you'll be picking up? All the nitty gritties, put it in the greeting message. And then your away message. Your away message is when you're unable to respond. It allows you to send that message. Let's say you've closed after closing hours. Right? So if you are closing at 5 and the person sends a message at 5:05, right? Because the app has allowed you to set your working hours. So if you say you are closing at 5 and the person sends you a message at 5:05, they'll get that away message because it's automated. Right? And to tell them that, oh, sorry, oops, you are closed. You know, we are open tomorrow at this time, etc. We'll get to your inquiry tomorrow. Or let's say you are going on break, on holiday break or something. That way message becomes very necessary because people might not know, but once they send you a message, they know that you're on the break. Then you don't always have to be on the phone to explain, oh, sorry, I'm on break. No, the automated message will do that for you. So these are just a few tips that I think really, really helps. The catalog for me is like very, very critical because I don't want the whole... What do you have in stock? Okay. Can you send me pictures?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And the thing is, the person can add to the cart. You know, once they click a product, it adds to the cart. It's just like shopping on a website.
Online.
You make the sales funnel very short and easy for them. They don't have to go through a long process. By the time they get to, they're like, they're just tired. And then you've lost a customer. You know? So the other time, even a customer was like, oh, okay, you do more deliveries, right? I was like, yes. It's like, oh, okay. No wonder your WhatsApp is so effective and efficient. Like, you know, because constantly we are there. You know, we are making sure that it's updated. If there's something that's not available, we put it there. You know, when the delivery is on the way, we are constantly communicating with the customer that the order has been picked up. It's on the way. We are sharing links of, you know, if it's Uber, maybe you're using Uber to deliver. So we will share the link with the customer so they know it's on the way. You see, the constant communication with the customer to ensure that the whole delivery process is very smooth and very effective. You know, so they'll come back because they'll know that, oh, when I order from these people, this is what to expect. And it's easy. And I'm going to get my food within less than an hour. You understand? So that's what's a business for you. Like, use it professionally, right? Use it professionally. Learn the new features or the available features that are there. They are there. Just learn how to use them. You understand? And your customers will always be coming back because you're going to make the process very smooth for them. I remember I bought from a lady who owns groceries in East Legon. I've never met her, but I engaged with her on her WhatsApp business account. She was so like, the process was like so easy. She's like, oh, she has this available, you know, then she sends me the catalog. I had already seen, I was like, oh, I've seen your catalog already. You know, so this was available, this was not available. Very easy. I'm like, then I just chose. Then I sent, you know, I just sent a message business. And then the next day I got my items. You know, like no wahala, no stress, you know? So I hope more women in business, even if it's a service, it doesn't have to be just products, even if it's services that you're offering. You understand? Consultancy services, whether it's home teaching, like list all those things in the catalog with the pricing there. And I'm so glad there's pricing. And in Ghana, see this too, you know, because gone were the days when there were some websites or some apps, they didn't even have the Ghana CD. It's always in dollars. You understand? It's always in dollars. Like, Ghana is a country, you know, like we also have our currency. So I thank God that's also there. So yeah, it's a powerful tool. A very, very powerful app to have.
Thank you so much. And as you were talking, I was taking notes. I was like, yes, update your catalog, because I just remembered I haven't updated it. So thank you for all those tricks. And, WhatsApp is amazing. Thank you for sharing. And you've shared.
And you can share the link too. You can share the link to your profile on Instagram. So instead of they send you a message on WhatsApp, then once they click the link, it will bring them back to your WhatsApp.
Exactly.
And it's a backlink to your WhatsApp. So it really shortens the process.
Yeah.
So I share it everywhere, whether it's on Instagram stories, whether it's on LinkedIn. Like, I just put the link everywhere. I just put the link everywhere. Even on Google My Business, when you go to Google Maps too, and you see the link there, it will connect you right here.
Yeah. So it makes it easy for people to just reach you.
Yeah, and in a time of, in this COVID era, your digital marketing efforts must be top-notch, constantly top-notch.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you for these powerful, powerful nuggets. And before we let you go, I have some short questions I'll ask. It's a sentence, and then you have to finish it off with what comes to mind. 3. The first one is, if I could advise my younger self in one short sentence, I would say,
be patient. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the world. Life is short. Learn to live. Learn to live for yourself. Take care of yourself. I think that for me right now, that's why I'm at, trying to be more patient with myself and with others, and learning to take care of, myself physically and mentally and emotionally, because I look back, my younger self, I'm like, wow, I shouldn't have reacted that way, or I shouldn't have, thought that way, so a lot of thought has gone into being more self-aware and how to take care of myself, having even now that I even have a daughter, or have a child, it's even more important to even learn to take breaks, and have some mommy time, because it's really, really tough, and having another child is like, okay, now you're taking care of another human being. Now your patient has to be even twice. That's what you're paying for, So so be patient with yourself, take care of yourself, your mind, your body, And life is so short, there's 1 minute we are here, next minute we are gone. So yes, and be kind with others. Yeah.
Fantastic. And the second one is, I am fabulous because
God made me fabulous.
That's it. That's all.
That's it. Nothing. Yeah. He made me different in how I am, and I'm grateful for how I am. I'm fabulous in my own way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Then the final one is, one book that has greatly helped me in business is
the Bible. I'm not trying to be cliche. I'm not trying to be cliche or anything. I'm not trying to be all cliche and everything, but trust me, because in business, you're dealing with people. You're dealing with a lot of people, especially in this industry. You're coming across clients, suppliers, and then your customers. So how to even deal with people, trust me, it takes a lot of godly wisdom. So a lot of prayer for strength for the day, how I deal with customers. I take everything to God, basically, Lord, increase me, increase the work of my hands, strengthen my hands, because I get tired, but then the next day I have new strength. I'm like, where's the strength from?
Where did it come from?
I'm telling you, and I'm like, I'm going to bed the next day, I'm like, my back. I'm breath. I can't get me tomorrow they work. The next day I'm up.
They are new every morning.
Yes, So that. But then in terms of, if you're looking at business books, Dale Carnegie It's one of the authors that I read a lot. I kind of reread his books because he talks about how to influence people using digital media. So that for me has been very crucial, especially in a time like this. So, my WhatsApp business is not just business. I connect with customers like, oh, how are you? I hope everything is fine. I'll not even sell anything. Like, oh, I don't even send a menu or anything, like, just checking up on customers because we're all human, right? And we all have our ups and downs and our struggles and our victories, everything, So, connecting with your customers on a more like personal level, it really, really helps, If there's someone you've done work for before, just give them a call. Oh, how are you? Is everything okay? How's the family? Okay, just checking up on. Wow, they love that.
Yeah.
They love that. Sending thank you notes.
Powerful.
It's in that book, Dale Carnegie. It's like little notes, personal notes. That's why I did like November, December. And even free drinks, like I bake a cake, slices of cake, add it to the meal. Like, oh, wow, thank you for the cake. Oh, I love it.
That's so thoughtful.
It's thoughtful. So you're building bridges of, building human relationships. You're connecting with them, nurturing them. So that's also part of the nurturing process. We are not just always, oh, come and buy my food or here's a menu. Right. You understand? So those things are powerful. And which other book? I just kind of like read online, I read Forbes, I read smallbusiness.com. There's like different websites that, shared like tips for like small businesses in this COVID era, so I make sure that I also stay up to date with, what they're sharing with regards to, the trends, so in the US, for example, when COVID hit, there were a lot more virtual restaurants. So I'll say, Essi is more of a virtual, it's 90% virtual and 10% like in person, So many virtual kitchens rose up in the US because of COVID. More people are doing delivery. So right now, you can see online, like different types of packaging for food and all that.
Yeah, things have really changed. Yeah,
things have really changed on that end. So all these websites talk about how to brand your business now that you're a delivery company or you're doing more of, cooking from home and all those things. So I try to stay up to date, I read and then I go through with it. So people will be like, how are you doing that? Like, just reading, So if you're a small business owner out there, know the trends. It's really important. And do what works for you. Sometimes I feel like, Ghanaians would be copying an idea because, somebody looks so successful in it, so I'm going to do the same thing.
They don't know.
They don't know. So do what works for you. Okay, stop looking at other people trying to copy their idea. Because for me, I'm like, I'm going to do what's going to work for me. Packaging is great. All the nice packaging out there is great, but I don't have the money. Okay, so if I don't have the money, what can I go with? Let me stick to what I can. And it will work because if the product is good, if your food is good, your customers don't mind.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes I look at some of these Chinese restaurants that have been around like 30 years, 25 plus years. You go and order food and they'll put your food in literally like aluminum foil or something. But the food is good.
Yes.
So you don't really you just eat the food like, oh my God, so good.
Yes.
Right? Absolutely. That's what's working for them. They're keeping down their costs when it comes to certain things. But they know the food is good. And you come back, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So make sure your product is good. Whatever it is you're doing, whether it's spring rolls you're frying, whether it's finger food you're making, just make sure the product doesn't just look good, but it tastes good, and do what works for you. Try and keep your costs down. I think that's like so critical in a time like this when things are so expensive in Ghana. Try and keep your costs down, but work on the product. Make sure the product will give the customer that amazing experience. It's so crucial right now.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. You've given us you are just on fire, seriously. And I look forward to seeing you in Kumasi. But for now, how do we find you? Someone is listening and it's like, I want to come and taste ramen, or I want to see there. How do we find you?
Essi is everywhere. Like, so we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So on Facebook, Essi's, when you search for ESSIS, you find us on Instagram, Essi's Gram, so ESSIS Gram.
Okay.
You know, we are there as well. On Twitter, the same thing. Google Maps, even when you're trying to come here, just search on Google Maps to bring you right to our doorstep. So, like I said, I cook from home. This is my home, and most people come and they sit outside. They have a good time, and then they go.
Now I am just okay. So anyway, once we are done, we'll talk about how I'm going to get to taste it.
I hear you.
But I want to say thank you so much.
Thank you, Amma. God bless you.
Goodness, was that powerful or not? I just kept getting my goosebumps after goosebumps. You know, the story of starting your business excited, moving into a brick and mortar, only to have COVID say, I ain't letting you. But see how she pivoted so beautifully. And I loved that she talks about God. Like, seriously, this CEOing thing that we do, the CEOing thing, without God, I don't know how you will do it. God is a key. Like, God is the X factor, you know, in this business that, you know, these businesses we are running, and we thank him that we know him and we can count on him. And I love the tips she shared on using WhatsApp business as well. It's very valuable. For me personally, I mean, it's been amazing to my business as well. And I encourage you to check it out. And also, we have the link to check out Essi's eatery. Please do check her out, follow her, and let's pray. You never know, she might be coming for the International Fabulous Women's Conference. As we were jabbing on in the interview, I'm sure you were like, hey, I'm mine, these people, you know, that's how we grow. Like, we just have ideas and we do the best we can to run with it, because we know it's God who drops these ideas in our spirit. So I look forward to seeing you either online or in person at this year's International Fabulous Women's Conference. Until then, first of all, please do share this video with others if it's been a blessing to you, or if you know someone that this will bless. And then also continue to be as fabulous as you are. Bye.